City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Special beyond special.
Best player in the Premier League.
Captain Marvel. Drogba! Rooney! Oh, wonderful! That is one Derby diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
Europa League Final. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
So abrupt.
Yeah, no intro. This isn't a podcast. This is a video. People weren't even going to expect it. But it's I promised Nick. I have no Nick. He's too scared to face me in my suit. He's too scared. We said a number of pods ago if our teams made a final, we'd wear a suit. So I decided that I was going to wear a suit. I have about 5 more minutes in this suit.
I didn't wear my suit.
And it does deserve to be said. You said that before I decided to wear a suit last week. So no biting. It's original idea from Dylan.
Yeah, I kid you not. I have 5 minutes in the suit before I literally just combust because it's very hot.
Yeah, the tie's too much, bro. I got to be able to breathe.
I'm constricted, but I like the tie. So it works for the occasion. Yeah. United play Spurs in maybe the worst combined record final of all time. It's honestly impressive. Like I feel like I've started every time we've talked about United with I don't know how we got here. I don't know how the situation has gotten to this point, and I bet you Spurs fans are thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because what this season,
the fact that both of you are in it, like, yeah, they
don't make scripts just like that for no reason. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, people have been talking about it. Yeah, right. People have been talking about it. Oh, they don't deserve to make up. What are we doing? We always talk about it, but the currency that we use to measure is trophies typically, and you've won trophies or won a trophy to get here, and if you win another trophy, you get the opportunity to win the biggest one, right? Is that not what the game's all about? Like, respectfully to Crystal Palace, and by the way, congratulations. Once again, if Crystal Palace do this exact same thing and they're in the Europa League final next year, people are going to say, oh, this is awesome. This is what it's all about. So people are just bitter. It's funny. It's all of the above, really, in terms of adjectives, but we're here. We are here. And
the banter comes from standards.
Oh, of course. And then
there's an expectation that, I mean,
we're gonna have one club ending up where they typically are, not typically for Tottenham, but we're gonna have one club in the Champions League routine for a top 6 team. The other one, they're gonna have to come to grips with what just happened and the fact that that club is going to be that close to salvaging the whole thing, just to go right back to the bottom. Like, that is gonna be crazy. And oh man, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, it's Let's start with like a preview. How these two teams got here is just a very funny story, right? Like, at this point, it's just a funny story. Like, Tottenham had to beat Frankfurt and Bodo Glimt, who were 2 really good teams all tournament to get to this point, and United had to go through a gauntlet of teams that I assumed that we were going to lose to the whole way through. Like, let's be honest here. Like, no, I don't know if anybody like confidently looked at Sociedad and then Lyon and then Athletic Bilbao at home, like, expecting United to.
I thought you were going out every round.
Yeah,
as a neutral. Yeah, I was like, oh, they're outmatched.
And overarching, like, you've got United looking to save their Champions League hopes, but go 3 straight seasons with the trophy, which is a phenomenal stat for just where the club's at and the situation and everything like that. And then on the flip side, you got Spurs, who haven't won a trophy since what, the 80s?
2008.
Oh, well, sorry. Like, did they win the Europa in 2008?
No, Carabao.
Okay. So a European trophy. They haven't won one.
I think 80s. Yeah. 80s, something like that.
They have pedigree in this competition. They've won it twice. I actually saw a graphic with that, which I didn't know. So you've got 2 teams that realistically need this trophy probably more than any 2 teams in England. And now they're at a point where it's do or die. And both teams have leveraged their spots in the league and probably have put in teams that shouldn't be, productive in the league so that they could be at this point. And now it all comes down to this. While I change out of the suit, you guys can talk about Spurs to start, and then we'll go into United.
It's just funny how much both of the trophy means so much for both teams, but for two different reasons. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, United, it salvages the project / rebuild. It speeds up the timeline significantly, gets them in the Champions League. They can spend all the money they need to spend. And Spurs, I mean, beyond just a trophy, we know how much that would mean, let alone a European trophy. But for the same reasons, to a lesser extent, I mean, not a lesser extent, it's the wrong way to put it, but I just think the hurdle of getting over the whole trophy drought and just putting that in the rearview mirror with the runway of Champions League for the next year, I don't know. I think that can really change it, change their trajectory too. So,
that'll definitely be huge for either team. I mean,
I just think that trophy drought, it's like a whole other
it's
can of
definitely
worms versus United. Just they're bad.
This is
really bad right now.
A big step in their. Wow, that was quick.
This
is a big step. And in developing their teams further in the future. But yes, with Tottenham, there's that added pressure of, hey, we haven't won a trophy in a very long time. Whereas United, even when they've been shit, they win trophies. So
yeah,
I think that's going to be the biggest thing in this is that
I'm trying to pinpoint
United, even in their worst, have been here
because this United team, I think both of these teams deserve to be where they are in the standings, but I think just off the top, if we're going next year, I think Spurs have a significantly better outlook. And this is before either team qualifying for champions. I'm just looking at their current cores. I think Spurs have a brighter future just based off of what they have in-house right now. I think United have a lot of work to get guys out, bring them back in. So my whole thing with Spurs winning, I think they can finish in a top 5 spot. I think they're a lot more likely to next year than United right now. And that's before we figure out who gets Champions League. I'm just looking objectively at both teams. So
I think you're right in that
weird
sense,
one.
But
I just think their season, again, they've been bad, but a lot of other factors, injuries and all that. Not to say United haven't had injuries, but I think Spurs squad has more quality as it stands before everything else plays out.
Yes.
So.
The personnel-wise and the players, like Spurs, as of right now, have the better squad. Whereas United have the better player or two among those players.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see more structure with Amorim's building and kind of a direction, whereas Ange were kind of all lost and confused as to what he's going to do. He's going to need to shore up that defense, and the way he plays is not going to do that. They are one of the top scoring teams in the league right now.
To be fair,
they let in so many goals.
Oh, yeah. Did you see how they set up against Villa? And obviously it didn't work, but that was a low block, just 4-4-2. I mean, I've never seen them like that. And if we want to look at it in the eyes of how we looked at United set up against Chelsea, we're like a dress rehearsal. Are they willing to do that or that drastically switch their style of play in the final? Because, I mean, even not just the full-on 4-4-2 that they ran, but I'm starting to see him kind of go with more of a double pivot than just the one with the 2 8s. I don't know. Maybe we're starting to see at least those types of smaller adjustments that we always talk about. Oh, the managers need to adjust. That's the type of thing I'm talking about when I'm saying a manager needs to change things. So maybe they are. And then for United's case, I mean, the man-to-man press against us, we look out of it in the first half. They look like the better side. So to your point on them being better drilled, yeah, there was an approach there. And I think a team of lesser quality, in this case Tottenham, maybe they can create a chance out of that. Defense into offense, as we say over here.
I don't have any hope for Tottenham
in this
go whatsoever.
Way,
I just remembered that Kulusevski
Cup final, anything
and
Madison.
They're running Odegaard. They're running Odegaard.
Bergvall.
And more. They put more at right wing.
Yeah,
I've never seen more play.
Their injuries.
He can play. More can play, but.
Yeah, but you want to put a kid out there for
do not want to put it.
I know, like that's tough.
No,
they've been
unless it's City, we will throw kids out in cup finals.
I will give them.
He had to at that point, but to look at this, what are they? It would be very surprising.
You know what I'm thinking?
To see a Son performance, but I think that's what it's going to take.
I watched the first half of the Villa game. the few times that they broke, he looked on it. So maybe there's that. Honestly, I'm just thinking out loud now. That whole 4-4-2 they had, do they go Solanke, Son, and then Johnson on one, Odegaard on the other wing?
And they brought in Tell to do what? Red Pine.
Oh, I forgot about Tell, bro. He just doesn't do anything, man. He doesn't do it for me. I think he's a good player, but in this team to walk into this and say, "Oh yeah, figure it out," you kind of knew like it'd be tough for him to really get his feet wet, and I don't really think he has.
They're going to go with a front three of some form of like Solanke, Ray Charleston, Son, and Tell. Like that's kind of the only thing that I see.
Brendan Johnson.
Oh, yeah, sure.
He's their highest scorer. He's got to be in there, right?
So Brennan Johnson.
Who knows?
You know what? You're probably right. It'll be Brennan Johnson, Solanke, and Son. Like that's kind of just what they've been running all year, and so they
start. Yeah. Still fun,
and it creates it. Their issue is all in the midfield.
So because Basuma, Sarr, Bentancur 3. I think that.
I don't even know if Sarr's healthy. I heard that he picked up a knock. So there has been a bunch of stuff this week talking about Porro going into the midfield like almost at a full-time thing. Like not.
I mean, I thought Spence has fallen off a little bit lately in terms of his performances, but I thought over the course of the year he showed a lot. I'd be confident in him at right back, but Porro, like just as a sitting midfielder, I don't know if that instinctually when you see him play, like his instincts are telling him get forward. So I mean, defensively in those transitions, where again I think United, they have no problem sitting back, absorbing and countering. We've seen them do it against big teams. They have no problem with that approach. So it's a dangerous game.
There's definitely more questions that Spurs are going to have to ask because I think if they play into United, if they play into United's hands, they will win. I am fully confident in that. Now, if Spurs start asking questions, then I don't know.
How do they ask those questions though?
That's honestly that's kind of where I want to get to it. Like I think if they attack how they normally attack, they're asking for trouble. Like in terms of using their wing backs and putting them in the midfield. If you're gonna go midfield to midfield without a proper attacking mid, I think that you're asking Sarr and Bentancur and whoever else is in that midfield three,
Basuma,
who aren't great going. Yeah, Basuma, sure. Going forward, who they aren't that great going forward. So if you're asking him to have the ball at their feet and to make decisions, I have a feeling that Casemiro's been great in Europa. His intellect will win those duels, and then it's straight. You're springing forward, and the fact that United got Ahmad back in this situation is exactly why that becomes dangerous. Because if you get Ahmad in space and 3-on-2s, 4-on-2s against two defenders, the trailer is Bruno.
Just in space on the ball. That's really it with him.
Yeah.
If he has space and the ball at his feet, I trust him to make the right decision or make something happen more often than not. But again, the more we just kind of talk this out loud, their only midfield three is Basuma, Sarr, Bentancur, unless we're missing somebody. But Kulu's hurt, Madison's hurt, Bergvall's hurt. I'm just thinking they have to go 4-2-3-1. So I think they play a 10 or a pseudo 10. But is that Odegaard when they play him as an actual 10? Yeah. Do they go 4-4-2? But I just think when you're saying that out loud, again, Pop Sarr being your most offensive midfielder of the three.
Yeah.
I mean, the most progressive of the three being him. He's a good player, but you don't want to put the whole creative burden on his shoulders in a European final. That's not fair. And he's also a really young player, too. He's been pretty much in their lineup for the past 2 years. He's like 21 years old. So I don't think that would be wise. I think all three of those guys would prefer to be in a double pivot, whichever one gets left out, whatever. But I don't know. I'm just thinking, do they go 4-4-2? That would be like so out of whack.
It's just not
too much. I think they go double pivot, but I still think they adjust. But yeah, it's Ange ball. I think they have to exploit those spaces between the fullback and the wide center back. That's however they end up doing that, because I just think they throw their fullbacks forward, whether it's they invert them, overlap them, and tuck in the winger, whatever it is. They just want them in those forward areas. Yeah. They have to abuse those half spaces. They have to find a way to exploit that, because that's where the gaps are.
They can't play a 4-4-2, because if they play with that type of wing backs, then you're literally playing with two defenders. It's way too advanced.
You put Son in a free roll, or no? I don't know, man.
Like they're going to play a 4-2-3-1. That's just what they do. Or a 4-3-3.
So is it Odegaard in the middle? Odegaard in the middle with Son, Johnson, Solanke.
I have no idea what they're gonna do. I think
I don't
it's
even want to.
That's
completely
what
a
makes it so
toss-up.
exciting.
But I
That's
do
what-
think with that lack of creativity in the midfield, like it's very hard for me to see Tottenham walking away with the trophy. I don't see where the goals are going to come from unless United literally give it to them.
Because as bad as United are, they've got a match winner or two in their squad. I think. Like Bruno is no doubt a match winner, and then Ahmad. I mean, I think for the better parts of the year, he's shown that he has that ability. And Spurs is just Son, who hasn't showed as much this year, but he's still
I mean,
quality.
we talked about future. We talked about Spurs team being better than United's, but with all the injury crisis that they're going through right now, you look at the teams. That Spurs team is miles
back
away
line
from
they
this
want,
United team.
They've got their. What's
And
crazy
Davies,
too, though, is they have the
can't-
back line they want. They want the. They have the front
Romero.
line they
I
want,
forgot
but the
about
midfield is just destroyed. Yeah, Romero, Van de Ven are fit.
Yeah, I know. That
Fullbacks
just
are fit.
didn't see the
Forwards are mostly
the
fit.
squad.
Both
Sorry.
managers in the lead up to this took two very different approaches.
Definitely.
Very different approaches. The fact, I honestly thought that Romero and Van de Ven only missed one of the last two games. They haven't played since the 8th. That's a long time off.
He's been. They've been off.
Yeah.
That's a long time off to immediately get thrown back into a final.
Trust them once they're
Do they throw
ready.
Archie Gray in the game?
Cool.
I don't think they're going to start him.
feel like-
I mean, Archie Gray's
they have
Their,
to.
their
He
back,
hasn't
their
played
back
enough.
four is going to be their back four. I can't.
I
believe-
meant in his preferred
Archie Gray will have
position.
to
He
play
hasn't
in the
played midfield
midfield.
enough. He hasn't played midfield enough to.
No, he's
you know
been
what I
playing
mean?
center back.
Right.
This
he
is what I'm
hasn't played
saying.
in
Like,
right back.
honestly,
Who are
we
they
know what
throwing
United
in?
is going to be. Spurs are like it's just a tornado. Like you go
I don't
down
even-
one
yeah.
spot and it's a mess.
And this is all because of just the midfield. Their forward line's pretty much sorted. The back line's pretty much sorted. Because of their midfield, it throws everything out of whack. To your point that you started with, Dylan, it comes down to their midfield. However they set that up, however they approach it, that's probably that's what decides the game.
I have concerns, like if the midfield for United is. I still have some concerns if it's Bruno and Casemiro because of the three that they're putting out are definitely more physical and they're definitely better athletes, right? Like that's a concern for me. That's honestly, and everybody's been off of Ugarte for a little bit. I think that he has to start this game for that reason.
I was gonna say they'll probably start Bruno at the 10.
I
go from there. Because if you chase it, you drop him back.
Getting into United, I think that if you play Bruno further up, you can play him as a false 9 and just not play Højlund.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about that's the one thing he cannot. He's awful, man. He's awful. And not only that, I can't imagine where his head is, right? And it's not his fault. I'm not blaming him for all that. I'm just saying he surely has no confidence. I think that's
Zero.
Fair to say. Just
Zero.
Leave him on the bench. He has to be on the bench.
I just don't even
Who do
see
you
a
put there? Who do you put there? Because
I think
try
you go
Hobby. Do you put Mount? Because you want Bruno in his most comfortable, right? You don't want to force him out of whack. So it's a whole balancing act.
Maybe it's Ahmad. I don't even know. I think that you just look. You put Højlund up against Van de Ven and Romero, and it's going to be the same thing that happened against Chelsea. He's not a good enough striker with the ball at his feet, nor in a duel situation for him to win any of them.
Tosin Van Dijk.
He won't. He won't. And so, like, I think that he's going to have to run out some form of false 9. I don't know if it's going to be like a Garnacho situation. I'd rather see him come off the bench and be the difference maker.
Yep.
Just my personal opinion. I think Manu would be a great shout there. He's much better in the box than any of the people that we've listed here. So I think that's where it becomes like a question mark for me. And that's why I think he's going to end up just going with Bruno because it just slots people more appropriately. Because if you have Bruno in the midfield, Mount Ahmad, and then Manu's your false 9. Right? Like, that's where he doesn't play Ugarte. But if you play Ugarte, then I think that you go with either Mount's your 9 and he's just kind of more of a pressing false 9 type of thing, which I that's why Mount needs to play, in my opinion, is because
as long as he's fit. Because he had some bad moments in front of the goal, like the very last, but I think for the most part, when you watch the performance, there's absolutely something there. I mean, he's starting to look, and again, it's been years since he's been fully fit, so it's going to take time, but I think he's shown a lot of positive signs, and to your point, he can work hard, bare minimum.
And at the very least, like the one thing that United has over Spurs is pedigree. Like a lot of these guys have been to finals, have played in finals. Like those are the guys that I want starting. I don't really want to see Højlund, who's never started a game in the worst form of his life, playing in a final. Like if he comes off the bench and it's just to run around and mess things up, sure, I guess.
Yeah. Mixer,
But
throw in the mixer, get him in there. Yeah,
and that's the same thing with Garnacho. But I know that for a fact Mount has been in finals. I just trust Ahmed, so it's different. But Bruno, finals.
Yeah, he's nice.
Casemiro, finals. Menu, finals. Like, these are guys that have proven that they can do it. And to a certain extent, Garnacho too. But I think that if you're United, you have to play into the strengths of having the people that have been there.
Yeah.
Because that stadium's going to be crazy. The atmosphere is going to be crazy. And the pressure on both of these clubs to perform and be at their best it's honestly bigger than most of these. Like, honestly, it's bigger than like anything that most of the other Prem teams have gone through this year in terms of like the amount of pressure on any given game.
Oh my, there's so much pressure on this game. It puts you years ahead of the path, or you get that close and go right back. It's like the gambling, the meme where he's digging for the diamonds. Oh, let me turn around. It's like, oh, this is where you almost had it, but now you got to go back to where you belong. Like, it's gonna hurt bad for one of these teams.
Yeah,
and the other team is, I don't know.
Too. Like, Spurs are in a better spot to lose this game, right? Like, the pressure is a little bit less, just because if they do lose, like they sack Ange and then they restart the whole
project. He's gone anyway.
Well, like, the idea that they can sack him. Like, if United lose,
they have a core of young players there.
Like, United still have some personnel where I could see it, and they're already talking about bringing in Cunha, and they'll bring in like a Delap, right? Like, it's just going to be, the rebuild is so much slower for a team that has so much more expectations every year, and the pressure mounts so much quicker for a team like United. Like, if Spurs lose this game, they sack their manager, they bring in a couple of younger guys, they get a new manager, and then they're cool for another year and a half.
Beyonce still coming during the international breaks. They'll be fine.
Right. For United, it's like, if they lose this, then you have to go into the idea that, like, Bruno could leave, right? And he could be upset with that. And Amorim's still going to be here, and then you're going to be stuck with maybe 2 signings. And that's a much harder rebuild. But I will say, for both teams, if they do lose this final, next year becomes a lot easier for them, for the simple fact that they will only be playing once a week. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about any European competitions for the sense of a full-on rebuild. Like, even if United win this game or Spurs win this game and they get all the money in the world, you're talking about still needing to do some form of semi-rebuild and immediately have to hit the ground running with Champions League. And that's difficult.
Yeah, and you got Real Madrid in 2 days after Palace. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and you can't finish this bad in the Prem again. So
yeah, I see what you're saying about that. I do think throwing them in the deep end a little bit, though, is beneficial for both of these teams. Whereas, like, sometimes you see teams, they get built up to go take on the Champions League, and then that max fixture congestion just kills them, and they're not the same team they were the year before without that. And especially with United, I don't think you guys want to be having any asterisks over anything that are going to bring up bigger issues in the future. So it should definitely be United, at least, should have no thoughts of even trying to not win this. Tottenham, I could see, like, it's Tottenham, whatever.
If we're talking about pressure on top of a box, it's like an elephant for United, and it's probably like, I don't know, what's a comp, like a rhino?
A slightly smaller elephant.
Yeah, slightly smaller.
It's still an elephant.
Heavy. Yeah.
I mean, I wish Nick was here to be able to defend himself, but I think he'd be saying loud, like, the 2008 thing. Yeah, we haven't won anything. Well, I'd love to just win something like that. They would have said before this season even happened. So to be where they are right now, and everyone always says, oh, it'd be the most Tottenham thing. You can kind of apply that to either side of the coin.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, it would be the most Tottenham thing to lose after every other team ends their trophy drought. Or it would be the most Tottenham thing ever to finish 17th and win the Europa League. You know what I mean? So that coin can go either way for me. But I think you do make a good point in that qualifying for Champions League could be, sounds crazy, but a hindrance. Because you might not be ready to that point. And I understand throwing in the deep end, tough skin, builds character. If they're not ready, they crash out of the group stage and you're in 14th in January. You know what I mean? Like, you're even further behind. So that can happen too, but probably less likely. I think you're more likely to kind of survive. And whether or not you win the competition or finish in a Champions League spot, I don't think you bottom out. But it's definitely something that can happen.
And we just went for 24 minutes on this final. I don't even think I could talk 24 minutes on the Champions League final in this sense, because it's the most dramatic,
I can.
confusing, and outright worst European
It's very unique.
final ever. It's unique. Unique's probably a good word.
Oh, because European finals are supposed to be very prestigious. You got the best teams playing each other.
If you didn't have the heritage behind it of both clubs, then this final is a big poop fest.
Yeah.
But this is on paper, you put the names down, it's United versus Tottenham. It's a Premier League matchup of some of the bigger teams in the Premier League. Like it should be a good final. Without context, it's a great final.
Oh, I think it's going to be a brilliant final. We know how much to play for there is.
Yeah, both teams are going to have to die. Someone's going to end up being alive at the end, but both teams are going to have to die. It's
crazy. And we're just going to be sitting at work.
You guys ready for a combined 11? Because it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
And then after this, we're going to put this combined 11 next to the Wolves team from last week and see which team would win that game.
I have this set, by the way. This Mario set. It's very cool. Anyways.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, here's our setup. I'm doing 4-3-3. I know that.
Yeah, 3 midfielders. It's easy.
It gives you enough outlets to.
We got it.
I haven't seen the other guy play enough. So
Vicario?
Oh, I thought he was hurt.
Let's put Kinski.
No, I'm all over the place right now. Okay. Vicario's not been keeping up with Tottenham, clearly. Yeah, Vicario then.
Vic.
Do we want to give an honorable mention to
who rests a goalie?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Who the fuck rests the goalie?
A team that's desperate.
That's hard.
All right.
Right back. I think this is Mazzarari. I know everyone's been. I've seen a bunch of these.
Isn't he a center back though?
Poro. He's played right wing back, and he's gonna probably play right wing back in this.
That's where you have him.
That's where I get. Well, I just don't see it. If Euro's fit, Euro's gonna play right center back, and if he's not fit, then I think Lindelof plays right center back, and then you deal with Son.
Been hurt.
Yeah, you deal with Son with Mazzarari. That's
honestly. You don't put Ahmad on Son. You need Ahmad to be in the final third.
Yep. I think it's Mazzarari, but I'm open to hearing a Poro shout.
I just wanted to know if he would be there. So you just won the argument for me to consider him because I had him down as a center back.
I think for the most part, the team that played Chelsea is the team that rocks out.
Honestly, I typically wouldn't go Mazzarawi here, but I do think Poro is a bit shit. So I will vote Mazzarawi.
I think I'm also with Maz right now.
I would have went Jed Spence a month and a half ago.
Mazzarari is a consistent.
He hasn't been great lately.
He has
his bad games, but again, you paid $15 million for him. I think you're getting more than enough value from him.
He's not an attacking fullback, but as a defender, I've seen him put a lot of really good offensive players in his pocket. So that's why
he can do a job.
The back two. I'm curious to hear who you guys have here. But obviously,
I want to put Harold up top, Dylan.
I also want to put Harold up top, but he's got to be in the back too if we're gonna have him.
I'll go Romero. I'll still have Romero down. I just think he's a level above.
I have Van der Ven and Maguire. Those are my two. So
on form, it's valid though. Like on form, for me, the reason I'm leaning Romero is because of the pedigree. But again, he's been pretty shit this year too.
He will get a card.
Yeah, he will get.
Maguire's been fantastic in this competition.
In terms of the competition? Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be Maguire, Van der Ven. Fuck.
Vandy. Are we actually going Maguire?
Yeah,
I don't know who else. He's not even like top 3 for center backs that I would pick.
Yeah,
Harold. None of them are fit.
Harold.
He's been class.
Sorry, had to put.
Don't be sorry.
Had to put that up real quick. Maggie, Sir Mags. What a turnaround for him. So happy
for him, man.
Left back.
Udogi.
Yeah, go. EDO.
Sorry, left.
Yeah.
Left his.
He's getting there.
He's been better of late. We'll see if that carries over to the final.
He's 20 years old.
Here?
Midfield
Bruno.
3. Yeah.
Bruno's got to be in there somewhere. I feel like Casemiro's got to be at the base of it.
Those are my 2 picks. The third one, I think.
Oh, can you switch them? Oh, now it looks like Bruno's a 6. Gross. Nice.
Then
so it's Van de Ven or no? Is Basuma, Bentancur, or Star?
Yeah, be one of those 3.
I'm
gonna let y'all call it.
I'm thinking maybe we shift Bruno back and put someone else because.
They don't have a 10. It would have to be one of United's 10. They're just picking a bunch of nothing right now.
Can we leave it for later?
I mean, we can.
How is this as difficult? But it is.
It's going to be one of the 4 guys that I'm not comfortable putting in here.
Yeah, Ugarte's not going in there.
Yeah, so it's. I feel like Bentancur has probably been the best of the 3.
Pick, yeah,
we'll go. I wasn't picking Basuma. I was between Star might not be fit.
Is it Ben like Bent?
Just put Arjen Robben.
Yeah, Robin. I'd much rather put Robin in our combined 11 than Bentancur.
All right.
Okay.
You have to go Solanke just based off how shite Højlund is.
Is it Solanke Ahmad's son?
Maker in all of the games.
Solanke Ahmad's son, huh?
Yeah. Pretty easy.
That's the easiest that it gets. My name's not Andre. Okay, why
are we picking as our manager?
Not be first here? I know who I'd pick.
Ange Amorim.
Postecoglou.
The goalkeeping coach that could be our striker at United. That's who I'd pick.
Maguire tops a shot here, by the way. If you wanted to put Romero in.
No, because
for United though, we didn't even talk about it. It's genuinely a shout, but you don't have anyone else to play at center back.
No.
Who do you want as your back 3? Because Euro, we don't know if he's fit. I'm sure you don't want to see Lindelof in a European final, right?
Let me stop sharing here.
Is Shaw going to start?
I think Shaw starts.
Might.
I think he does because in terms of the left-sided center back that can actually play the ball, he'll get used 60, 70 minutes, which I'm cool with.
Even the years under Ten Hag, when he played, you could see the difference. Same with Lissandro, like the way they can play out back.
It'll be a question of who's fit. Like if De Ligt and Euro are fit, I think if Euro's fit, he starts at right center back. But I think if Maguire is fit, they both come on as subs, and Amorim loves the center back sub. So
I've seen
that'll happen. Aiden Heaven also got some minutes there too. So there's rotation that can't be made back there. But he's not starting.
Yeah, I'm picking Aiden Heaven for my combined 11.
I think that Chelsea game showed me that he's a bit off the pace, and so I'd rather see him come on as a sub.
Again, he's an 18-year-old who just came back from long-term injury. It makes sense.
I think if Euro's not healthy and neither is De Ligt, then I'm probably rocking with Lindelof. And I think Lindelof's actually been all right. Every game we've looked at that back 3 and I've gone, oh fuck, we're in trouble. And then they really haven't been in trouble. Honestly, Maguire's good in the air and Lindelof's not awful with his feet, so it'll work. Obviously, I'm scared shitless of the idea of
when you see the lineup
running at him. But if Lindelof's playing, then Mazraoui an automatic starter right wing back. If Euro starts, I think there's a shout that you can put Ahmed at right wing back and try to exploit
can cover those wide spaces. Euro can cover that better.
Yeah, Lindelof cannot. So it's just an interesting kind of it's an interesting balance. I think that we'll find out more tomorrow. Unfortunately, I know
it has a lot to do with how to me it all comes back to how Tottenham's set up.
Yeah.
Again, we know what you guys are going to do, regardless of the approach. We know how you're going to set up. At least
for the most part, we know how they're going to attack. It's going to be some form of man marking where they're going to press from the front, and then if they don't get the initial press, everyone's back.
And I think they're so comfortable to press man to man because of Tottenham's midfield situation. And I think Ange seeing that, and because we all know that game against Chelsea was the rehearsal, seeing that probably plays 4-2-3-1. I don't think they go double eights.
I just don't imagine
there's a
him
chance
switching it up for a final.
I mean, that's what they've been playing lately. They've been playing, I don't know about every game, but I've been seeing them set up with a double pivot, and then obviously that 4-4-2 they had against Villa, just trying to scumbag a result maybe. But
I just
I think they go. I think they go double pivot.
Go with it. You know what I mean?
Like, because it's their best back line. Yeah.
And he might feel that's the best way that they can be sound defensively, right? Is having Bentancur and Basuma in front of him, and then you're giving someone a shot, or maybe I don't know. Has Brennan Johnson even played the 10 at all this year?
Never played it for Spurs.
Yeah, okay, I didn't think so.
Maybe a few times, but you can probably count it on one hand. I'm one of those freaks who looks at the lineups every time they come out, even if I'm not watching the game. So I don't think I've seen it very often.
Solely off the right. It's gonna be interesting.
And he can come up clutch, man. Like he's not one of those guys. He's not going to dribble 5 people and create something, but he right place, right time very often. Right? Like you don't put up those numbers without it. So
no,
it's going to be such an interesting game.
Yeah, and with that, because none of us know actually what's going to happen, we're going to try to predict it.
No, well, here's the one thing we do know is going to happen. I will be weaponizing this result against Arsenal.
Oh, well, yeah,
that's all I know. That's all I know. Both of whoever wins,
one of these teams is going to have a more successful season than Arsenal. It might not be a better season, but it's going to be a more successful season.
I like the way you word that because that's always the debate. Is well, you guys are shit. Well, how are we measuring the success? Right. So
a trophy is better than no trophy.
You won a European trophy. Yeah, that's pretty successful.
Yeah. Now, who played better throughout the course of the season? It's Arsenal. But were they more successful?
Yeah, of course.
I don't think so. Especially because one of these teams is still going to go Champions League. That's crazy.
Yeah, you're going to meet each other.
United,
and they would go to pot 2 if you guys get in there, Dylan.
Yeah, it's just awesome. Which is awesome. There's a lot of awesome things that can happen here, and I'm hoping that's the case. I hope it's my club. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do
predictions.
Yeah, star player and a prediction for this Europa League Final: Man United versus Spurs. I'll go last since I guess it's my club, and I don't have.
Right. Go for it, Mila. I went first last time. I think.
This is the I don't
2-1.
Know, right?
2-1 United.
2-1.
Bruno.
It's gonna have to be Bruno, right?
That's a crazy prediction, dude. I don't know. I'm gonna go 2-1 Tottenham, and I think it's gonna come down to Vicario. I think he can win you a game. He's not in that caliber of the Allisons of the world, the Donnarummas that we've seen, but I've seen him have blinders. Like shot stopping is top level in them. We know what it looks like on the other end, so I think it might come down to the goalkeepers. So 2-1 Tottenham.
In all of the games this season, he's been really good against United. And so, like, if he's able to stop, 2 of the potential 4 goals that are going to go in, like, that could be enough to win it for him.
He might stop all of them. Like, those crazy locked-in Italian. Oh, man.
It's a good shout.
And we saw what Donnarumma just did.
He's just got to be better than the guy that he's facing.
Donnarumma just hit Saka.
Yeah, fair enough. Man. Okay, so I think that United are going to win 3-1. I don't think it's going to be like an outright smashing 3-1. I think it's like a 2-1 where they're chasing a goal very late into the game and then counter someone puts the dagger.
And then it's marginally offside. Tottenham score 2.
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like the Arsenal game last year you guys had.
Yes. That would suck balls. I'd hate my life. Man. Wednesday final. Really just strange things.
Dude, I'm be at work.
It's going to be...
Nothing says we really take this competition serious to the fans like a Wednesday final.
Yeah.
Before the end of the season.
My star player is Ahmad because I think that him getting healthy and United having no real offensive threats outside of him means that he has to be United's best offensive weapon. God, I hope he is. And I think that he can take advantage of all the space they're going to leave him, because Spurs are going to do what Spurs have been doing all season, which is bombing up their fullbacks and leaving a ton of space in behind for good players. And if we didn't have Ahmad, I'd be assuming we'd be losing this. But now that we have him, I feel a lot better.
I've got a weird gut feeling telling me it's not going to be gung-ho, Dylan, but again, it's just a gut feeling. Everything tells us they're going to go for it, as they do, because it's the identity. And again, the past few games, as of late, he's been getting a little more pragmatic, but he has always died on the sword. So to go out, and I think this is his last meaningful game he coaches for Spurs, I think he goes out. He should go out the way he's always been talking about how they go, but something's telling me like they're going to approach this proper.
Yeah, I mean, if they do go with the different, they go with the the pivot and then the 4-2-2.
Even if it is a double pivot, they can still go gung ho. It's just different setup defensively.
Yeah, I have no idea, because he's played when he played the 4-back or the 3-back last time against Palace, he didn't do it. But like, if he does do it, it's a question. He puts the questions on Amorim, and Amorim's gonna have to make an in-game decision, which he's been pretty good at. So like, I don't know. It's gonna be a mess. Like, that's what I know. I know this game is gonna be a mess.
Oh, it's gonna be hideous. Oh, dude, we didn't even mention how horrible the refs will probably be.
Ooh, how many VAR?
Well, no. Here's what we'll say: 12 minutes of added time in the second half. That's all I know.
Yeah, just enough time for Maguire to get another winner. Mr. Maguire.
That would be scenes. But yeah, I don't think I've said it on the record, but I am pulling for Spurs just because selfishly it's better for us. But I've kind of came off that train a little bit just because I've been told focus on yourself, King, and got bigger shit to worry about than who to root for in Europa. So I want a fun game. Game.
As a neutral, I think
we will get one.
I don't think that.
But then again, we might just get a shitty blowout. Like we really.
I don't think either of these teams have it in them to have a shitty blowout. Like I don't.
But I think either team is so bad that they're capable of doing that bad. I think that bad can outweigh how much good does the other team have to produce. Because we say about Tottenham all the time. What Tottenham are showing up? We've been saying it the whole time. We don't know. They look like world beaters on one day, and then,
right? And like both teams just decided that they weren't going to lose. And then
European finals tend to be cagey.
Yeah, so there's definitely the possibility that it happens. I just hope it doesn't.
No pens.
Oh, dude, I shit my pants. Onana on pens, dude. No,
it can't go worse than last time, right? It can't go worse than that.
No,
the last time you were in a Europa final, it cannot go worse than that.
It can't. Oh, I mean, no, it really couldn't. I'd actually assume
that might be the worst possible ending to a penalty shootout.
If it's like a repeat, I'd cry.
Where everyone makes every penalty and your stupid keeper. Mine didn't even put it on target.
Yeah, like fuck's sake.
That's ridiculous. The worst way to go out. Everyone make a penalty. You're ridiculous.
All right. Well, are we good?
Mm-hmm.
Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspurs in the worst final of all time to get Champions League. A sentence that I don't hope I ever say again. But
until next year.
Cool. Alrighty, let's get out of here. I'm just gonna end it because this isn't a pod.
2 words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal! Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent! Potentially life-changing! That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.